Welcome back to the Crypto ZX channel, to my Pepe family. Thank you for all your support. From the bottom of my heart, your support means the world to me. Continue supporting, and your boy Crypto ZX got you covered on these updates. So I'm sure at this point you guys are already aware as to what's happening with the crypto space. We're seeing all-time highs after all-time highs for BTC, and of course altcoins are really starting to feel the love, including meme coins. Pepe up a staggering 10%. Let's waste no more time and take a look at what we're really looking at, and of course what we could be expecting going further into obviously this week. Looking at Pepe 1228 again. I'm sure if you could just tell by the price, and if you follow my channel before, you guys know around this time, this is a level, we've been speaking about after breaking out of some of the key levels, which of course, when I pull out the charts, we'll kind of talk about, but we're up about 10% on, USD side of things, about 5% in Bitcoin, and about 2% in Ethereum comparative. Valuation $5.1 billion, and the 24-hour trading volume at about $4.3 billion. Yes, you've heard that correct. $4.3 billion for Pepe trading volume. Through the roof right now, guys. This is something we don't want to be ignoring. But before we get into any further, as always, just a quick disclaimer, anything on this channel is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence and research when you are investing in cryptocurrency. So I want you guys to take a look at the holder count, 462,000 holders. So increasing at a pretty steady, nice strength, exactly what we want to see happening. But if you're looking at the broader meme coin market, the broader meme coin market is up 15% in valuation. 15%. 15%. And that itself is quite a large increase pretty much across the board at this point. If you're looking at pretty much the entire market at this point, except a few handful coins, you're seeing double-digit gainers across the board. So talk about major excitement. This right here is a perfect example for us. But I don't want you guys to ignore, what's happening with Pepe right now. Pepe's trading volume needs to be studied. 4.3 billion, the biggest in volume compared to the top 10 coins in obviously the top 10 in terms of ranks on meme coin category. That itself is something you don't want to ignore. But if you're looking at the dominance, thank you to the dominance. You guys know your boy Crypto ZX talks about the dominance time in, time out again, and now you're really starting to see how the dominance is continuing to fall while Bitcoin has been increasing pretty much hour after hour after hour. BTC is pretty much hitting all-time high after all-time high. We've seen a 5% increase for BTC, which is a large move. And, remember, dominance, usually 98% of the time, dominance, when Bitcoin has a move like this, you do tend to see dominance show some sort of strength, but we haven't seen that at all, which again is a big confirmation that altcoins could really start pushing up. And Bitcoin, let's give it a refresh live, is sitting at 116,000 right now. We have seen a little bit of a minor pullback, but still on the verge of yet again breaking towards a new all-time high, and we are on the verge of closing the biggest candle in the history of Bitcoin once again. Now, if you're looking at Pepe, let's talk about the price, because of course I'm sure everyone wants to know what's happening with the price. So this was from our last update. So let's kind of get rid of this. You can see this for yourself. I drew this line for you guys to kind of give you guys a little bit of a better visual. We broke out of this range. So let's say that range itself was your dollar cost averaging in confirmation, or let's say you placed buy orders around here. We're looking at an increase of about 15% right from that range. And exactly what we spoke about, the next target that we would be hovering around is the target we have come across, but at the same time that there is some resistance around that range. But in terms of a confirmation standpoint, that target has been met in my book. So far so good. Now, this resistance, we need to break out of here, then that pretty much kind of guarantees that we could be pushing up to the 1341 and then start retesting May levels. After the May levels, pretty much depending on the volume, excitement can really kick in. And right now, the volume is on Pepe's side. $4.3 billion, almost the same as its valuation. I personally project Pepe is one of those meme coins that is going to see its all-time high retested way quicker than a lot of people think. People think it takes months, but take a look at how fast it has moved in the past. And I personally project that, Pepe will end up doing something similar. So, buckle up. Remember though, lock those profits in. Remember, always do your due diligence, research, and invest what you can afford to lose. I cannot stress this enough, but lock those profits in. When the market is euphoric, the things are just going crazy, that's where your overall brain can kind of get really excited, and you tend to think, oh, market's just going to continue to go up, 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 even though that might be the case, but you never know where the top is going to be. So have your exit strategies, of course, and stick with them. That's something I'm going to continue to remind you guys. We obviously have a long ways to go towards the all-time high. And, if you want to put that into perspective, the all-time high itself is about 130% move from here, but lock those profits in when you see them and go enjoy those profits. And, go buy your family something nice, buy yourself something nice, because at the end of the day, that's what you're here for. And at the end of the day, these are meme coins. Look at what happened in the past. I love looking at the past. Look at Shiba Inu, look at Dogecoin, even though those are, some of the biggest ones. I personally think, Pepe will take over Shiba Inu. As you guys know, I'm a huge, believer in that. And again, that's my own personal opinion. Only time is going to tell. But what I'm trying to say is Dogecoin and Shiba Inu have had major corrections in a bear market. And what makes us think that that's not going to happen this time around? Yes, regulatory clarity is coming, but 98%, I would say 99% of the coins are still going to enter a major bear market. So don't let this opportunity get away. Lock those profits in when you see them. Thank you for all your support. You guys are amazing. We'll see you later in Crypto ZX, and peace out.